the MRP has been done, and then this department task is to send job orders or shop orders to the production line, okay, based on the MRP calculation, okay. And then they also this department, the PAC department or the PAC task need also to make sure that the available capacity and the required capacity that have been calculated is balanced, okay. And also they need to do some monitoring and to close the loop, okay. Towards the end, okay, after we do some planning, implementation, okay, and then we also need to close the loop with monitoring. This one, monitoring. Okay, loading. Back. Mana? Control. Okay, we need to monitoring or control the process. Okay. Why? Because we make to make sure that what is actually the objective of production activity control is the objective is to meet the delivery date. Okay, to meet the delivery date, it means that we know that we need to send to the customer on certain date. So by hook or by crook, we need to comply the delivery date. Okay, so we need to make sure that the operation is smoothly. Okay, and then the another objective is to make the best use of company resources. There is where we calculate the capacity available and capacity load and available dengan apa satu lagi tadi? Required. Okay, we calculate both to make sure that balance, because we would like to make sure that we can send the item as promised. Okay, so here what we need to do first, we control the work. Okay. We control the work going into and out from the work center. It means that we have this work center. Okay, this is one example. Remember, here we are talking about the flow shop. It means we have this one, let's say the flow. This must be one way, something like that. After this machine, then proceed to the next machine. Machine 1 and machine 2. Okay? The flow. Intermittent. Intermittent is what lah? Jangan confused. Betul lah. Intermittent is the bukan job shop. Okay? So, what we need to do, we need to control the going into. It means the input. Here is the input and the output of the work center. So we call it, this process is input-output control. Okay, this is the calculation that we need to be done in this particular process. The other way is, we set the priorities of orders to run at each work center. Okay, to control, we use either one. Okay, or we can use both. But in these priorities orders have been done in the IM class, if you remember. Okay, later we look what is the techniques used here. Okay, so this is the okay, give me 5 minutes, ada azan lah. Okay, okay, 5 minutes . This based on this diagram, this is what is actually the input-output control did. Okay, what we do is we control the input and the output here. Okay, because we assume that when the input is increased, the queue work in process and the lead time is also increased. So the problem in the what do you call it, uh, line balancing, okay, in the production line is normally is a queue. The queue is actually the bad person in for the production line. And when we have lots of queue, then it will take longer time to produce the product. That is why we need to do this input output control. Okay, so why we need to input rate control? Because we assume that with input increase, queue, work in process, and lead time is also will increase. Okay, there will be a smooth production line. Okay, and here is a queue, load, and work in process. Okay, and then the output rate, for the output rate, okay, we need to what we need to do, we need to increase or decrease the capacity of work center. Okay, this is different from here. Meanwhile, for the input, we must make sure the input is increased, okay, with the numbers and so on. And then for the output, we control the capacity of work center. Okay, it's either sometimes if you can see that input is we have we have higher input, and then we see that our output is slower or low, then we can increase the capacity of work center. Okay, however, by doing this, we will having another problem to the production line. Okay, which is, as we said, we keep changing our capacity, will incur to the maybe we can't we can't get the numbers of production. We can get the numbers of production lah. Okay, let's say we plan to get 100. However, with slower the capacity, the capacity of work center, our production for that day is only get 70. But then this can be solved by with OT, another shift, and so on. Okay, what we need to do here, we like to make sure the queue is not increased lah. Because if the queue increase, the other things will be affected. Okay, so this is actually the input output input output control table. Okay, for this particular table, we use the standard hours. Okay, so the 38, the 34, all of this is the standard hours. Okay, so the what color is this? The yellow color. Okay, this yellow color, this one, this is that we would like to determine. Okay, you'll be given the planned output and actual output. Only be given here, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, this one is we get from the I think that one is from plan orders and release order. Okay, that not arrived yet. Okay, and then we need to determine the cumulative variance for the input, cumulative variance for the output, and plan out backlog and actual backlog. Also the total here. Okay, and then what is the meaning of this plan backlog and actual backlog? So here is actually we monitor the queue and lead time performance. Meanwhile here we monitor the input, and this one is for input and this one is for output. So towards the end here we can see that we can do some analysis based on this and here. Okay, the answer. Okay, the cumulative variance and the plan out backlog and actual backlog. Okay, how to calculate? Okay, how to calculate? So the cumulative variance, the difference between the total plan for the given period and the actual total for that period. So total plan and the actual total. So we have these two. So how to calculate? previous cumulative variance plus actual minus plan. Okay, so something like this. Okay, let's say, okay, for the first period, we just minus actual minus to plan input minus, and the answer is this one, -4. So we know here that for this actual input, we for the period one, it takes with the actual input is the plan input is 38. We plan that 38 hours. However, the process is only take 34 for input lah. For input, it takes 34 hours. So it means that the value is cumulative variance is -4. Okay, and then for the next one, then this one -4. Okay, what -4? We kita apa tadi, cumulative plus with the actual. I think actual. Sorry. Now this one, previous cumulative variance plus actual minus plan. So here, plus actual, and then minus plan to get this one. Okay, nampak? Then, again, daripada sini, -4 kita dapat, we plus actual, and then we minus plan, and then here is the result. Okay? Okay, and the rest. Then we need to total up. Don't forget to total up the plan input, actual input, and cumulative variance. Okay, same goes to plan output. Okay, this is based on the output. Okay, to get the feedback, we need to know that we need to compare that the input and the output. That is why kita buat efficiency utilization. We would like to know the performance of the production line. Okay, so the other way to do this is using the input output control. Okay, now tadi dah tengok input, we go to the plan output. Okay, for the plan output, the same calculation as above, and we need to total up the plan output, actual output, and cumulative variance. Okay, and then for the plan backlog, this one will be given. Okay, then do some calculation for the rest of the here lah, the table. Okay, so what we need to do, okay, you can see there how we get this 30 is with this 32 we plus with this is plan backlog. So it means that we must focus on only the plan backlog here and here. Okay, we look into the plan only. Okay, plan only. So we have 32 here, 32 we plus with 38 here. And then, okay, 32 plus 38, and then we minus 40 and we get the answer. This one, equivalent to this one. Okay, same goes for the rest. Okay, meanwhile, for the warna apa lagi tak ada tadi? Okay, sambung aja. It's blue. Okay, and then meanwhile for actual block, we will focus only for this actual at this two. Well, we have 32, so this 32 we plus with 34 for the input. Okay, and then we minus with the output, then we get the here. Okay, any question here? This is how we solve this problem. We not solve, we determine this thing. And then towards the end, we got the all the planned backlog and actual backlog. Okay, this is also need to be calculated. So this is the example cumulative variance in week 3. Okay, which is we have 4 here, and then we plus with 32, we plus with the actual first, and then we minus the plan, and then we got the answer. Okay, then based on this one, this is the this thing. What is the analysis that we would like to see in this? Okay, the analysis is the work center did not process all the jobs that were available during in week 5 period. How do we know this? Because we can see here the plan input and actual input. We plan 38, 32. However, as we can see here, the actual input is lowest than is supposed, except here. Okay, but still, we still get negative here. The cumulative variance is negative. So it means that it's not process all the job that available during 5 years period. Okay, kalau actual input lagi besar daripada plan input, the answer will be positive here. Okay, so bila positif maksudnya dia either dia produce sama apa yang kita plan ataupun more than what we plan. Okay, that's good lah. Okay, so this one is not. Okay, this not process. So therefore the desired output rate was not achieved. Yes, kita plan katalah dapat 100. Kita plan 100 tapi actual input sekali sebab semua orang tak mampu untuk proses, so kita cuma dapat 70. Okay, so our desired output rate is not achieved. Once kita tahu kita tak boleh follow, kita tak fulfill the output, so we need to do something lah. We need to make sure that kena ada OT for that particular days. Okay, depends on what you call it, company. Some company maybe they check back with the inventory whether this inventory can cope or not to cater the shortage. If not, then sometimes they do some shift lah or OT to cater the shortage yang lagi 30 tu. Okay, so similarly the work center receive less input than planned input. This is obviously lah. Okay, the inputs is means sikit lah daripada output. Hence, the I/O report from those work center need to be examined to locate the source of the problem. So kita kena cari source of problem, and this is for work center 201, only for one work center. Okay, we need to do this in reality for each of the work center that we have for that particular product. Since we know that for intermittent, we normally produce a lot of product in the same lines balancing. Okay, that is the intermittent because dia laju. Okay, dia mass customized. Okay. It depends on the question. If the question asks you to give some suggestion, then this is what you need to do, analysis based on this. If not, if the question asks you only to for the plan backlog and actual backlog, then just give plan backlog and actual backlog only. Okay, that is for final exam lah. Okay, and then later you need to do this. Okay, as a tutorial. Okay. So next is the we have two options. First to control our input and output. Okay, using input output control table. So now second operation, sequencing. Okay, this is a technique for short-term planning of actual job to be run at each work center based on capacity and priorities. So what is the sequence in which job should run at the work centers? Okay, we call it dispatching. Okay, select and squeezing job to be run at work center. So dispatching. What is dispatching? Selecting and squeezing job to be run at work center. So dispatching ni list dia this one. Okay, send hour, priority information. We must know the job coming to the work center. What is the job coming to the work center? We have work center A. Let's say for work center A, what is the job is coming? Okay, which plant, which department, which work center? what part, short order numbers, operation numbers and description, standard hours, how many standard hours that the particular work centers need, and priority others information like, okay, processing time, what is the processing time for each of the the job, maybe the job has a due date, okay, then that information we need to know. Okay, do you still remember this? Okay, I hope that you still remember this. We already see this, all of this in IM class, the industrial management, and also I think in the project management class. Okay, so this is how we help to control the production line. Okay, or the calculation. We're not going to look into this detail. Okay, so we have this one. Let's say the job A, B, C, D for the machine 1. Okay, machine 1 or work center 1. Okay, this is only for one work center. So we have a process time a day. It takes 4 days for job A to finish in the work center 1. And then arrival, and then the due date and the operation due date. As we know that for sequencing rule, we have a different type of sequencing rule. It depends on what is our objective. If we would like to have first come first serve, and then we use these rules. If we focus on the due date because we would like to make sure that we are not exceed the due date, then we choose these rules: earliest job due date, or earliest operation due date, or short processing time, or we process the shortest first with the assumption that the shortest when we process the shortest one, the total time will be reduced. Okay, and then the next one is critical ratio. Okay, we are not going to look into this. Okay, so then we need to do some production reporting, feedback on what is actually happening on the flow shop. Okay, need for management discussion. Okay, this is will be sometimes is everyday activity. Okay, yesterday punya, okay, dia dah produce and so on. Okay, it's either this particular person in charge will stay back and do the input output and so on, the feedback and so on, close the loop, and next morning they have some short discussion among them, among the planner, to make sure that what they need to do next. Okay, if we still have shortage, then we need to include the shortage for today production. Okay, or sometimes they have 1 week, in the whole week they have 1 day to have this discussion. Okay, detail lah, to the extent that it's not just about what happened in the production, it's also what about depends on the customer comment. Okay, we already send our product, our item to the customer, and we get feedback or complaint from the customer. Okay, we have a needs. Okay, complaint from the customer, and then the customer, from the complaint that we look back. But sometimes complaint tu we need to give them katalah barang tu defect, so we need to give them, to send back again back to them, to take from our inventory, give it to them, and then the defect that the customer hantar balik ke kita for our scrapping. Okay, so dia ada benda lah tu. Okay, so summary. Okay, we converting MRP plan into action. Okay, tengok reporting result. Then if there is something wrong, we need to revise the plan. So needs detail and current schedule and priorities, and the result is for on-time delivery, well-utilized labor and equipment, and minimum inventory labor. So I think that's all for today. Okay, any question? Any question? Nak tanya apa-apa pun, pasal ni ke, pasal exam ke? Any question? We have about dalam 4-3 minutes. Nak kena copy dulu chat ni.
Kalau exam tu yang teori part tu dia masuk dari chapter sama dengan kita midterm ke?
Teori part yang mana? Yang test 2 ni? Test 2 tak. Daripada awal sampai MRP lah.
Okay.
Daripada awal tu sampai MRP. Lagi soalan lain? So maybe soalan ada 40 ke 60 macam tu lah dalam masa sejam. And then we only take about 40%. Okay? And then we add with the test 1. Okay? We add with the test 1. Test 1 kan 60% kan? So we make it 100% and then we take 25% or 20%. Depends on RPP lah. Forgot how many percentage that we need. Okay, this is actually the second chance for you guys to excel to get a good marks. Okay, please, we give you second chance. Okay, we give you second chance. Even though we have some students are very excel in the test 1, is okay. Okay, but then this one is a second chance for you guys that fail for the midterm. Okay, please read. Okay, there is no other calculation question. All is about the theoretical part. Okay, you must understand what is actually dia tak tanya calculation tapi dia more kepada understanding. Your understanding on certain concept and so on. Okay, any question? Maybe dalam week 15 kita hari Khamis ni baru we decide sebab another section still not yet habis tanda. Okay, tapi particularly kita dah tengok lah basically lah kita dah tengok macam mana dah we decide that. Apa lagi nak cakap? Apa lagi? Nak tanya apa lagi? So next week is our last class. Okay, I think even though that supposedly next